Hello, quilt artisans. My name is Shonda, and this is my channel, Under the Needle. So this video is a little bit different today. I do quilts. I'm a quilter. I sew quilts and do a little crochet here and there, right? That's pretty much it. I don't do any garment sewing. I have lofty ideas to make a bag, but I have not yet gotten around to making one. Actually, that's not true. I did make a bag, I don't know, 25 years ago. I still have it though. So I'm hemming a pair of pants for my fiance. He's going to a wedding tomorrow. And I'm hemming a pair of pants. And it just kind of reminded me of what a lost art this is. I learned how to hem pants from my grandmother. My grandmother pretty much raised me. My grandparents raised me. My mom had me when she was 16 years old. So I lived in the house with my mother, her two sisters, and my grandparents. And when my mom was about maybe 19 or 20, she wanted to try to get her own place, to build her own life. But the schools where she was living, because, you know, she was fresh out of high school, entry-level job, not making a lot of money, not living in the best area. And so the schools weren't so great. So where she was living, where I was living with my grandparents and her, they had much better schools. So my mom had me stay with my grandparents so I could go to better schools. And she would, she went out and got an apartment and tried to build a life. Now, she used to come pick me up every weekend. She would come every Friday to take the bus, and she would take, the bus to come pick me up. She'd pick me up. She'd take me to her house. I'd spend the weekend with her, and she'd bring me back, and I'd go to school on Monday. But I spent a lot of time with my grandmother. Now, and plus I was an only child, right? I was an only child. Essentially, I was essentially an only child. So I spent a lot of time with my grandmother. I'd sit and watch TV with her when she'd be watching Falcon Crest and Dynasty. And she would do things like hem pants, take in pants, and darn socks. And I learned by watching her. Now, keep it in mind, my grandmother had 3 daughters, and I don't think any of them know how to do any of this. So I think it was just, I spent a lot of time with her, especially like in the evenings, because this is before we didn't have devices. There was no cell phone. We didn't really have video games at this point. So I was born in 76. So we're talking like 82, 84. So game systems were coming out, but they were expensive. And with a mother that had nothing, she couldn't afford that kind of stuff for me. So I didn't have that. I didn't have TV, I just had a room and I had a radio, and that was it. So I would spend a lot of time sitting next to her, and I would just watch her. And you got to remember, back in the day, not even back in the day, but we tend to buy, for kids, we tend to buy clothes a little bigger and then take them in, hem them. And then as they grow, you release the hem, you take out the darts or the pleats or whatever you put in. And so that's what we did. And so I learned how to do that by watching her. So when I had a child, that's what I did. I bought her pants too big. I used to take them in at the waist and hem them. And then when she grew, I would release the hem and, and take out the pleat that I put in. And that was it. And then maybe when my daughter was maybe about 4 or 5, they started making the adjustable pants. And don't get me wrong, that was a godsend. It was a godsend. I was like, wait, I don't have to hand sew and take in these pants anymore. They have adjustable waist now. And so I didn't have to do that anymore. And then instead of hemming and sewing in hems, they made this double-sided hem tape. And I was like, I can use the double-sided hem tape. And then when cuffs got when cuffs came back in the style, it's like, well, shoot, now we can just cuff them. So now I don't have to hem them. I don't have to take them in. And I don't I don't have to darn socks because we don't wear wool socks anymore. We can get a 10 pack at Walmart now. And so we don't have to do these things. And but some things still are, they still come in handy. Like you'll never catch me darning a sock. I don't think you'll ever catch me darning a sock again, ever in my life. But I mean, unless I had some kind of specialty socks that I was, really wanting to keep that got a hole in them. But taking in pants and being able to hem them, they're pretty good skills to have. They're really good skills to have. And I can tell you now, my daughters don't have them because I just didn't have to do them. I only learned this because it was something that my grandmother had to do, and I just happened to be there watching her do it. But it just strikes me how much the world has changed, and like things that were basic skills that you had to learn, like hemming a pair of pants, they just don't exist anymore. I mean, because you got to remember also, it used to be pants came in one length. So when you bought a pair of pants, they were pants. And then eventually, they started making them in different lengths. They had, the big and tall section, and they had the, you can buy petites and they can get them short. So everything is different. You don't, for the most part, these aren't things you need to do. Now, are you ever going to look at this hem job and think that it was done by a tailor? No. Are you ever going to look at this hem job and think it was done at even like a quick alteration place? No. Are you ever going to look at this and think it was done by some, qualified seamstress? Absolutely not. But are you going to be able to wear these pants and no one's really going to notice that there's something wrong with them? Absolutely. Nobody's going to be able to. Nobody's going to know. Nobody's going to know. Like if you're a professional and you actually, sit and look at these, you're going to be able to take one look at this hem job and be like, that's not a professional job. But for just a layperson going to a wedding, no one's going to notice. And so instead of having to pay, I don't know, $20 or whatever they're charging these days, I can do it for free. So, would it be better, especially because they're suit pants, would it have been better if we had gotten it professionally done since they are dress pants? Yes, it would have. But we didn't think about it. And now we don't have time because the wedding is tomorrow. So I did the first side. And this is my hem job here. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. Will the pants fit? Will they look fine when he wears them? Absolutely. So I guess that's really all I wanted to say. I don't know. It just, now I feel like I shouldn't, it's a little too late to go, hey, 26-year-old daughter, let me all of a sudden now teach you how to take in pants and hem them. I mean, no. But, maybe when one of my daughters or maybe my son, maybe when I get a grandchild, maybe I can teach them, right? Maybe I can pass it on to them. Maybe. I don't know. But that's really it. I don't know. I think it's kind of sad in a way that, these are things that, it's not, yes, progress is good, but, it's nice to have a few life skills, It's like nowadays people don't even know how to cook, let alone how to alter garments. Now, if you give me a shirt, I'm helpless, okay? Because my grandmother never did anything with shirts except cut the sleeves off. Because when she hit menopause, she was hot all the time. And so if she had a short sleeve shirt like this, she would cut it off. So our shirts were like cut here. And I understand because I'm at an age where I'm starting to have hot flashes. And I get hot, like, for no reason, out of nowhere. And so I understand now. I get why she made tank tops out of everything. But anyway, that's all for me. I just wanted to share that, and hopefully, you guys enjoyed it. And if you understand what I'm saying, just drop me a line in the comments. Thank you.